All right, Aaron, thank you. 6:15 is the time. Well, the dentist will see you now, but the question is, should you go? That's certainly the concern on many people's minds about the risk of COVID-19 transmission during a visit to get their teeth checked. A local orthodontics office has stepped up their safety measures and want to show the community just how they're doing that. Tyra Majors joins us live this morning in Studio B with Montano Elevated Orthodontics with what they're doing to keep their patients safe. Good morning, Tyra.
Good morning. I'm going to bring in the doctors from Montano Elevated Orthodontics right now. They say that when patients, or before patients even come, they'll notice some changes right away. How are you two doing?
Good. Doing great. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you for waking up early with us. So I'll start off with you, Dr. Jay Wright. You're on our left side over there. What happens before people make their appointments?
Well, they will receive a confirmation text. They'll also ask them some screening questions if they've had symptoms, if they've been associated with anybody that's traveled out of the area, out of state, out of country, or if they have themselves, they'll be asked to postpone their appointment until they're either not symptomatic or after that 14-day quarantine that's been advised by the CDC.
All right, so they'll have to fill out that pre-COVID-19 screening form. And Dr. Montano over there on our right side, you also say that once people come into the doors, they'll see some changes. Do they sit in the waiting room? Do they wait in their cars? What's that process like?
Well, we're asking most of the parents and certainly the siblings that we used to allow everybody in the office. Now we're asking most people to wait in the cars if they can. We have to limit the number of people we can get physically into the office space. And with the patients that we see, we want to have them socially distanced, and we're asking, of course, everybody to wear a mask until they're actually in a chair getting worked on. That's been working out quite well. Parents are surprisingly very understanding these days. I think it was a little disconcerting initially, but I think at this point we're all respecting the masks that we need to wear to get through this COVID mess that we're in.
That's great that there's PPE for your employees and also the patients there. Anything else that people will notice when they go into the waiting room? We just looked at some video. It looked like the staff were taking temperature checks of patients.
Yes, we're temperature checking every patient before they are, as soon as they enter the office, to make sure that they're within normal range. And of course, everybody's wearing a mask, and we have a lot of shields up. And once the patients are in, then we'll come to the back where we have a lot fewer. We have barriers up between every chair, and we've isolated the areas where we generate any of the aerosol generating procedures that, like with a dental drill that might generate some aerosol. We've isolated that into specific rooms that are completely sealed off now. That's not what we had to do in the past. I mean, general dentistry in general has always had a high level of disinfection, sterilization, because of what most dentists what we do. We tend to use dental drills in dentistry. Orthodontics, fortunately, we don't have that type of procedure in every one of our appointments, so we're a little safer than that, but we're held to the same standard. So we got to step it up, and in every way that we can to keep everybody safe. We want to keep going.
Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And I'm sure all of you wondering at home, what is it like getting those non-emergency procedures? What's it like when you actually sit in that chair? They'll be back here at 6:45 a.m. We're going to talk some more about that process. Thank you guys for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, dentists can't eliminate all risks, but they are taking steps to minimize the chances of spreading the coronavirus. A Bakersfield orthodontist says you'll likely notice some changes as soon as you enter their office. Tyra Majors joins us live in Studio B with how the dental experience is looking during this pandemic. Tyra, a lot of changes.
Definitely a lot of changes. Now, we did speak with the doctors from Montano Elevated Orthodontics, and they told us that patients must fill out a pre-COVID-19 screening. They have to wait in their cars instead of in the waiting room. But now we're going to get to what it's like doing those ordinary checkups, those routine checkups and procedures. I'm going to bring in Dr. Jay Wright and Dr. Don Montano. How are you gentlemen doing?
Doing great. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so let's get started. So once people are checked in, they have their temperatures checked and everything, what's next? What steps have you all taken?
Well, we still have the same smiling faces, but they're behind masks. So patients will see the smiling eyes of our team, and the patients escorted back to the clinic, the treatment area. And once they're seated, they'll remove their mask and they can get their treatment rendered. When they have a particular type of procedure done, that would generate an aerosol or a dust, which is the concern in this situation, because the coronavirus is a respiratory type of a bug, and we want to protect against anything that can be inhaled. So we've taken measures to enclose the treatment areas where that type of treatment is done. And there are a lot of barriers that the patients will see, but there are some procedures, some precautions that are done that they may not see. Dr. Montano, you want to talk about some of those?
Well, aside from enclosing the areas where we generate the aerosol, we also have in-unit filtration systems right in the operatory, and we've installed a UV filtration, sterilization through the entire office, and also in those areas. We've also enhanced the evacuation, which is basically the dental suction, so to speak, that sucks everything away. So we've enhanced those methods so that it can actually aerosol goes right into it and it sucks it right out of the air. So our focus was to get rid of the aerosol as much as possible rather than trying to mitigate it after the fact. Just try to eliminate it from the get-go. We've even purchased new hand pieces that were designed originally for surgery, but they don't blow. So those hand pieces, the drills that the dentists use, are driven by air, and they typically blow into the mouth. Ours blow out the backside, so it doesn't blow the aerosol up into the air.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Wright and Dr. Montano. Take a look at this graphic so you can see some more of those modifications on your screen. Where are you all located in case people want to stop by for a checkup or maybe some other orthodontal work?
We're at 1010 Callaway on the corner of Callaway and Brimhall.
Callaway and Brimhall.
Love to see folks. Yeah.
Awesome. That's next to Sonder, one of my favorite places. All right. Thank you so much, doctors, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back after
Tyra.
this break.
Bye-bye.
6:13 now. Welcome back. And there's a lot going on in the world right now. And you know what? We could all use something to smile about. A local orthodontist is going to be hitting the road with the goal of putting smiles on the faces of kids. And he's doing it on a bike. Joining us to talk about this trek is local dentist Dr. Donald Montano. Doctor, thank you for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
What in the world possessed you, first of all, to say, I'm going to jump on the bike and go for a ride to raise some money, but then, you know what, why don't we just make it across the whole country?
Well, it's actually a conversation I had with a good friend of mine who's an oral surgeon, and we got into cycling together, and he told me, I'm riding across the U.S. in 2020, and you're going with me. Yeah, let's do it. So it's been on the bucket list for a couple of years.
Well, you must be a very good friend to agree to that. I believe you told us it's a 3,400-mile trek?
That's the plan.
How long do you expect to take?
Well, we're planning on about 100 miles a day, so about 5 to 6 weeks.
And so how long have you been training for this journey?
I started riding hard about 4 years ago.
Were you familiar with the race?
Now.
Were you familiar with the Race Across America?
Yes, I am.
All this? Were you a fan of that?
Yes, I am, but that's too hard.
Did you talk to any of our local cyclists about that and some of the things perhaps that you could take along with you, experience that they had? Because I mean, that's physically demanding.
Yeah, well, I purchased my bike from Kerry Ryan at Action Sports, and he's offered a lot of advice about what we need to do to train and to be ready to ride. And we've been training, doing a lot of long distance rides, 200 milers in a day. So I think 100 is okay. We can handle it.
Now, just so people know, you're not heading out right now when it's very, very hot.
No, we're planning on leaving September 12th from Santa Monica Pier.
Santa Monica Pier.
Beach.
Could you tell us again the trek and where you're going to be following?
We're going to be following the Route 66, old Route 66, starting out of Santa Monica. And in Missouri, we transfer over to a different transcontinental trail that would take us into Virginia Beach.
Are you taking anywhere along this route? Did you plan the route out to maybe hit different things that you've always wanted to see along the way?
No, not necessarily. No? We're following the Route 66. We'll hit some little towns along the way. We decided to put this together as a fundraiser with a charity that's dear to my heart. It's Smile for a Lifetime Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization that connects kids with orthodontists and other dental professionals so that we can provide orthodontic care to children that otherwise wouldn't be able to afford those needs. You know, it's something that's really dear to my heart. That's what I do. I'm an orthodontist.
And if people would like to donate to that, they don't have to wait till September, I imagine. How can they do that?
Well, we can go to our website, which is smileforalifetime.org, smileforalifetime.org, and there's a the bicycle ride is on there, and they can donate. We're looking for sponsorships, but we'll take donations at $1 a mile or whatever, up to whatever you want to do. So we're trying to bring awareness to our mission, and that's to recruit more orthodontists and dental professionals so that we can bring smiles to more children. And we all know that crooked teeth are the #1 target for bullies. So this is what we started our foundation about, and it's been very successful.
Dr. Donald Montano, this is fantastic, and I wish you all the best of luck and a safe journey. We'll touch base with you back before you head out again in September.
Look forward to it.